I'm Aveline, welcome back to the channel. I hope you're all having an amazing day. So we are building in good old Oasis Springs. Why did I forget what this world was called for a second? Like it just completely disappeared from my mind for just like a second. I was like, what the heck is this place called? To be fair though, I also don't really build here a lot in general. It's only when I do these kinds of houses that sometimes I end up in Oasis Springs. So today we're building what I want to call a retro home. So it's inspired by a picture that I found in like an old magazine from like the 1950s. So that's why I want to call it retro. The interior, of course, is a little bit updated because we don't necessarily have like I want to say like we have a couple of packs that have been inspired. Like some of the Get Famous stuff has been inspired by mid-century modern interior, but also Bowling Night stuff pack, but it's kind of limited. So I am mixing a couple of other packs in there as well, like I usually do with these houses. It's very hard to make something that is very authentically 50s in The Sims, but I mean, you probably can, but I'm okay with making it a little bit updated. So that's what we're doing today. And this is for a couple and also their kid. The house again was inspired by, I can't remember what the website is called, but if I find it in my bookmarks while uploading this, I will make sure to leave a link to the website. I, however, do not remember right now, but there's this amazing website that has all of these like old magazines kind of scanned into the website so you can see pictures and stuff. And there's like a filter, so you can filter after like 1957, for example. It's amazing. I have linked it before, but I'll see if I can find the website again because I'm pretty sure I have it in my bookmarks somewhere. But it's a very, very cool website if you like these more like old-looking mid-century modern houses. Not so many from newer times, I think. It's mostly like architecture sort of magazines, but, or don't quote me on that because to be fair, I haven't really looked after, oh yeah, there's a UFO in the catalog I noticed while picking out a car for this house. But anyway, I haven't really looked through some of the like newer posts on there just because, you know, you can literally just go on Pinterest and find new houses. It's so easy. But I like going through these like super authentic old magazines, even if I can't have them in my hands. It's cool to be able to do it through a website, you know? So yeah, I do that quite often. And this was one that I found that I thought looked cool, so I wanted to do something with it. The original house was completely white. I don't love white houses in The Sims. I think they end up looking a little bit boring. At least mine do. I'm sure other builders can pull them off, but for me, especially with a house like this where I feel like ivy doesn't necessarily belong on it, for example. Like you can do a lot with a white house and then plaster some ivy on there, just add like a little bit of a pop of color, but it just doesn't really work on mid-century modern houses. I feel like it just looks out of place. So I just personally have a hard time pulling off completely white houses, and so I had to do something a little bit different with it. So it's gray, white, and brown. I can't remember if that's what, I think it's like full on white, maybe with a little bit of gray, the original house. I'm pretty sure I added the brown myself, which is a little bit atypical for my mid-century modern houses, but I felt it worked with this house. I also changed the inner window frames so that it would sort of match. Don't look too closely because then I'm sure they don't. From a distance at least, they match because they're both like dark brown. The wallpaper that I put on the roofing and then also the inner frame of the windows. So yeah, that's basically what we went with. And then a red door, of course. There's something about mid-century modern houses and red or orange, sometimes even yellow doors, maybe blue as well. Like there's just something about that. I keep seeing them, so I had to add like a pop of color with the door and then match the car with the door as well, and a couple of the flowers too. So, but other than that, it's a pretty basic kind of like looking exterior of the house. I just wanted to go back to basics, I suppose. I felt like building something a little bit retro because it's been a while as well, and so here we are with today's build. It actually feels weird now just sitting here doing the voiceover without cam on. like I've been doing since we got the last pack since Horse Ranch. So that's start of July for me. I'm having one of those days. So I have mentioned this before, but I have some spinal issues these days. That's a very like non-dramatic way of saying I have a herniated disc in my lower spine. And what I did yesterday, I decided to clean my apartment, like the whole thing. So you can probably tell where this is going. Yeah, I'm not having a great day. Like, and I'm laughing it off because otherwise I'll just be sad, but it's just like, it's not great. So today I am just gonna get work done, like the voiceover here. I'm gonna get this done as quickly as I can so I can go lie down on my couch. So, because it also kind of bothers me to stand up today, which is unfortunate. And that's just how it is sometimes. I probably should have thought that through, or like taking it bit by bits. But like the apartment, I hadn't cleaned it in a while because of the issue, and it just desperately needed it. So I was like, listen, today we're doing it. We're cleaning the whole thing. And then I was abruptly reminded today why that's not a thing that we do these days. We just kind of take it bit by bit. So yeah, that's the thing. So I didn't want to sit here and put on makeup and stuff to do the voiceover with cam on, and frankly I am not feeling super well, so I don't think like I have like the energy to be on cam either, if you get what I mean. But yeah, it's just one of those days, so unfortunately. But if you were wondering, I'll be back. just not today. I also had plans to go work out today, but I think I'm gonna postpone that for a little bit, which makes me sound super lazy, but trust me, it's just not, it's not happening today. We also don't want to overdo it or anything like that. So it is what it is. It'll get better, but I overdid it yesterday completely. And I'm only laughing at myself because otherwise it's just sad. So anyway, but yeah, that's where we're at right now. We're just having one of those days where basically nothing is working out. So, but I hope you guys like this build though. I did actually take the screenshots today and I think they worked out, so maybe my luck is changing a little bit. Although you could argue that the whole cleaning the entire apartment wasn't a question of luck, but more like stupid decisions were made. I don't know. Anyway, so, but yeah, as you can see, we are going for, I was actually having some issues with placing down the dining area. Like I slightly forgot it for a second. Not entirely forgot it, just like slightly, because like I have forgotten bathrooms before where I've done a tiny house and then suddenly it dawned on me at the end while I was taking the screenshots, hold on a minute, where did they pee? Like there's nowhere to pee. So I didn't forget it like that. I kind of at first wanted to place down the dining area where I ended up placing the couch and the TV. And then instead I ended up placing the couch and the TV there, and then just for like a little bit forgot that I still had to find a new place, a new spot for the dining table. But I think it worked out over there. It's close to the door to the back patio as well, where there's another dining table. There's a grill outside as well, so like you can easily walk from the grill indoors as well if your Sims want to sit inside and eat instead of outside. There is no like cover above the back patio either, so if it rains, even though we are in Oasis Springs, but if it rains, your Sims can still go inside and not get entirely soaked by rain while they're having their dinner. I feel like that sounds very nice. Would definitely recommend. So yeah, there's the option. But I like having these, like, I know it's not for everyone. I think for me, I prefer like newer architecture in Denmark that does have this, especially apartments, that does have this like open concept. So that's what I want to call it anyway. A common area with like dining room, kitchen, and also living room. But as we have established before, because apparently you guys are very opinionated, and that is cool. I respect it. So I have talked before about like not loving hallway space. Especially in apartments. Just want to say, like, I don't love these like old apartments that we have here that have these like long narrow hallways. It's ironic because I live in a not old apartment right now, but it does have a long narrow hallway with a kitchen. It works better for me like this when I have an office, so like, because I work from home and stuff, so it just makes sense. But normally, I don't love the long narrow hallway space, but I also recognize that some of you guys appreciate the splitting up the kitchen with the living room, for example, because you make food that emits smells or whatever. Yeah, just, I prefer, like, I'm fine with food smell. I'm gonna eat it anyway, so like, I don't care, you know, or hopefully, unless it's burned, but in that case, that's too bad. I don't know. But yeah, I get it. I just prefer when like someone who's someone who's cooking in the kitchen can still talk to the people that are sitting in the living room waiting. So I just didn't enjoy these like common areas. But I think it's also very, at least Danish, I don't know about the rest of Scandinavia, but at least like newer places in Denmark tend to have these like open areas. So it's just what I'm used to. It's what I like in my houses and stuff. And although sometimes you can get houses and apartments where it's just kitchen and dining area, and then the living room is like slightly closed off from the rest of the common area, rooms, whatever you want to call it. But yeah, you can get both, just want to say. But like, it's very common to have every common room combined, if you will. So, but this is the kids bedroom. So we're going for a bit of a, what did I end up? Was it mint or green? And then blue, which is a bit of a funny combination. I don't often, because they kind of lean on each other a little bit, green and blue. If you know color theory, you know what I'm talking about. So I tend to not really mix those two in color schemes, but I don't know, I felt like going for it. I think it was more like mint, actually, because that was very inspired by the colors that are in the pictures above the bed. And so to kind of like tie everything together, I decided to add a rug, for example, that is mint. You can see the paintings, pictures, whatever you want to call them, over on the right side. But the majority, the most like consistent color, the color that I use the most throughout this room is definitely blue. And then just added a little bit of like, you know, the usual white, medium brown, whatever that color is as well. Just, yeah. And then I really tried to like actually like fully decorated in detail as well. I usually do, but I feel like I did it extra today, but I don't know, you might not agree with me. Maybe I'm just forgetting how I usually do kids' rooms, or maybe it's just because I've used horse range so much lately, and I've built so many horse range homes. We don't really have a lot of stuff for kids in that pack, so maybe it just feels like I've added a lot this time. I don't really know. Oh, I'm still planning on doing the rest of Chestnut Ridge. Yes, that's what it's called. Chestnut Ridge. I got that right the first time. I'm pretty sure. I'm right that it's Ridge, right? I think so. But I'm still planning on doing the remaining builds that I have before the month is over. If this spinal injury pain still is present tomorrow, I might have a hard time, you know, but I'm still planning on it. My intentions are to get the rest of the builds done. It's hard to sit down for hours and hours, even though I try to like also stand up because I can elevate my desk, but I don't know, I get like strangely dizzy when I'm trying to build standing up, like because the camera is moving around and I'm like slightly moving with the camera, like it's confusing. So that is the thing, but I'm really hoping to get it done because we have a save file that we need to update and everything, and I haven't been able to update it like properly because I want to get certain things done before I actually do the video on the update, so that there's not just suddenly like 3 homes that aren't done by me in the updated save file. Like, I don't like that. So still kind of like, although I think there might be like 2 in, what is that, Sequoia? I think there might be 2 homes that I haven't done yet. One of them is the rental, but we'll see. If you guys want like a not completely done save file as well, we can just like upload it in bits now and then. So like I do another update, I might just not do a whole video on it, but that's what I was planning to do for the for the Chestnut Ridge update. It's been a while. It's been a long while since I updated it actually. So like, but I feel like it's a goal I have every time we get a new pack, and then before I'm completely done with the new world, I've kind of like gotten a little bit tired of of building craftsman houses, for example, like we did with San Sequoia, and I'm like, I need to build something else. And then I just get sucked into building something else, and I never return to the craftsman homes. It's a thing. It's a thing. Like, I will admit to that. It's definitely a thing. But I'm human. I'm not a building machine. Like, I need variety in my life, you know? So my intentions still are to get it done though, but we still have the 50 by 50 and the 64 by 64 to do, and I'm still wanting to do a let's build for the 64 by 64. So we'll see how it goes though. We'll see how these last like 10 days of the month, what happens during them. But yeah, if my back still hurts tomorrow, we'll see. I'm not gonna make any promises. We will see. So, but yeah. It's a thing. It's unfortunate, but it's a thing. It's so annoying. Like, it's so annoying, and I think that's why I still want to talk about it, is because I'm annoyed. I don't like things getting in my way. You get what I mean? Even if it's like pain, I don't like it getting in my way. I just want it to go away or ignore it, but I just am not permitted to ignore it this time. So I just kind of like want to not acknowledge it and just do what I need to do, but I can't, and it's getting in the way, and it's super annoying. So for the landscaping though, because I just want to add quickly, the landscaping was inspired by the landscaping in the architecture picture, whatever, floor plan picture, I don't know what you want to call it, but I think it has a lot of terms, so just go with one of them. But it had like two areas that were framed up in front of the house that were mainly like green foliage, and then it had this little area that has some color to it. So I did want to tie them together just a little bit, so I did add a little bit of yellow to this part of the foliage, this part of the landscaping over here, but the other part that you saw just before, that was just plain green and white. So I just like this like pop of color that was in the picture and decided to kind of stick to it, added to my own house as well, my own version of the build. And these right here, by the way, they are fountain decor, I think. Fountain decor. I don't actually know what to call them. Slabs. They're slabs, and I tend to not use them as such, because I never ever use the fountain tool. It's rare. Like, it happens once a year or something like that. I really don't use the fountain tool, but I do like using the slabs here for various things. So if you have a framed up area for landscaping, for example, but you don't really love it not being framed up, but you also don't really love the different fences that we have, you can try out the slabs. They're from Spa Day. It takes a little bit of time to place them down, but I promise it'll be worth it. So, and the more you do it, the easier it is to place them down in a straight line as well. Just want to say, like, I feel like I've gotten the technique down pretty well by now. Like, I'm very precise with my placing of the slabs. It's one of the many things on my resume, but yeah, I like how they look sometimes, and they come in different colors as well, so you can have a little bit of fun. You can also make like round shapes and stuff. But just Spa Day slabs, nothing from the debug catalog, although I'm sure that there are alternatives as well in the debug catalog. I just have not felt it necessary to search for them. I just really like using the slabs. And not to like, you know, but that fireplace right there is beautiful. Stunning. So of course I'm using it again. I think I used it in the last build as well, but I could be wrong. I could have used some other fireplace, but I'm really loving the idea of having an outdoors fireplace these days. That's the third time I've failed pronouncing fireplace. I don't know if any of you noticed, but anyway, so it's the third time. Yeah, we're moving past it, but I just like the idea of having an outdoors fireplace these days apparently, so we've added another one to this build, and hopefully it will not like set things on fire. Like, I don't actually fully know, can the fireplaces do that, or is it just, I feel like I have like trauma or something from one of my Sims getting, one of my playtesters, not trauma, I don't mean actual trauma, just to clarify, but one of my playtesters being set on fire by a fireplace at some point, but I might just have dreamt it, you know, like I don't know. It's hard to differentiate between that sometimes. So as for the garage, just a random bunch of stuff in here, some hobby items, some gym equipment, some, actually I didn't put gym equipment, outdoor trash cans as well, bicycles, decor, all that stuff, storage stuff as well, so if you need a little bit more of that, there is some in here, nectar boxes too, but that's about it. Just wanted to add a little bit of extra to this place. The garage, yes. But that's it for this build. So if you guys like this house, you can download it off the gallery. My ID is AvelineYT, and you can also find it on the hashtag Aveline or AvelineYT. And as always, the tray files can be found over on my Patreon, which will be linked to in the description box as well as in the pinned comment, where you can also find a link to my booktube channel. So if you like to read, definitely go check it out. But that is all I got for you guys today. So I hope you all enjoyed this video. Please like and subscribe and all that good stuff if you did. And I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.
Buds are bursting, beautiful green. It's like a love scene with waves of flirting. Seasons change us. Maybe it's just me and mine, where thunder's had its way, when kindness is portrayed as blind and glitter to the rays. Oh, no need to beg pardon, no need to beg pardon.